the beginning of linear regression. And so in this linear regression, this information here talks about how you're going to interpret. This is not a question, and this is not a question. All of this that's in italics is information. It's not where you're putting any information. The first question is number 1. This is just informational. It just says, hey, here's what the correlation coefficient is. Here's what R is. Here's how you know what the strength is. Here's how you know what the form is. Here's how you know what the direction is. So that you can then fill in this information in the next questions down below. Okay? So information at the top. The first question is number 1. The first question says, open the correlation by eye applet. That's the correlation coefficient, gives you some directions, and it tells you to simulate 10 things and to list the values. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So in StatCrunch, you sign in, you open your page, and you go to applets, correlation by eye. And the directions are in that worksheet. And you're going to go ahead and compute here. So this pop-up is going to appear, and my sample size is already set at 20. But here is a scatter plot. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to determine how strong the relationship is between the X and the Y. Is it a high value of R? Is it a low value of R? What do I think? Do I think it's a strong relationship or not? So what I do is I guess. I think this is 0.3. I think R value is small. And then I check and it says, no, you made a positive when this is actually a negative correlation because the dots went down to the right. So try a negative. Okay, well, let me go back and try a negative. Oh, great. I'm within 0.1. So now I've done one successfully. So what I do is I write show, and this negative 0.39 is the number that you put on your paper. So you're going to have 20 numbers on your paper that are the actual correlation value. So once I've written this negative 0.39 in this space right here, I'm going to have 20 numbers here. So when I've written that negative 0.39, what I do is I then say, all right, simulate again to get new dot. And then I do it again. Well, I think that's a 1. Nope, that's too strong. What about a 10? No, sorry, your correlation has to only be between -1 and 1. So it's going to guide you as to what, how you should adjust your values. Oh, great, I'm within 0.1. So once you get that great, you're within 0.1, this has a correlation of 0.64. So then I write 0.64. You do it 10 times at 20, and then you do it 10 times with a sample size of 50. And simulate just gets you more dot plot pictures for you to guess. Now, remember that when you go from left to right, if the dots go up, that's positive. And if the dots go down, that's negative. So you need to include the sign when you're guessing your R values. One person in your group can share the screen and you can all collaborate, or you could do it individually within your group and then just kind of talk to each other about it. That's fine. You can do 20 on your own, or you can do 20 together. I'm okay with either. Okay? Then the next thing says, all right, a professor believes that reading the material and completing the activities has a strong correlation to overall course grade and success. Do you agree? That's your question. So you're going to load a data set into StatCrunch, and here is a description of the data. So there are 8 different columns. One is called OG1, one is called CG1, one is called OG2, one is called CG2. So these are the different columns. This is the activity completion percentage for one class and their course grade. This is real data that comes from this semester from my students. This is their OLI completion grade and their actual Canvas score. So you are analyzing, does doing the actual work online have a relationship with your grade in the class? Okay? So your goal is to perform a regression analysis, which is something that you're working on this week, but I'm showing you how to do it now, where you do stat, regression, simple, linear. And you're going to do it 3 times to answer this question. You should be looking at the R value to answer these questions. Okay? So you're going to look at the data, look at the 3 different sets, look at it as a whole maybe, and you're going to then make a decision. Yes, I think she's right. No, I think she's wrong. Okay? And tell me why. Tell me the course completion grade and the overall grade are related because of. You're making an analysis of the data. In StatCrunch, you load the data. And then you perform the linear regression by following the instructions where I say stat, regression, simple linear. And I tell you what the X variable should be and what the Y variable should be. And then you click compute. This printout pops up, a lot of information. On the second page, there's a scatter plot, shows you kind of the strength. But on the first page, the R value is right here. Okay, this is the R value for the first data set, and this is the scatter plot for the first data